to my vlog. Welcome to my Ghana vlog. Before we get started, please make sure you are subscribed, that you thumbs up this video and check the description box below. Well, I have finally arrived in Accra. My goodness, what a journey. I'm here with another family member. They've come with me to my friend's wedding, and the journey to Gatwick, and then we got on the plane and everything, all of that was great, fantastic. The service from British Airways was good. The food, everything was fantastic. We got to the airport, security control and all of that was fantastic. We got to the hotel and we got to our rooms, but there was some confusion over the room because the family member likes having baths, and there was a bath in my room, and then I prefer having showers, and there was a shower in the, so anyway, we did a swap. So, but when I got into my room, there was a smell in the room. And what it was, we noticed that behind the picture frame, there was some wall was peeling, but when we looked behind the picture frame, the whole wall was covered in mold, and it was damp, and the smell of it was very, very pungent in the room. So we had to, my family member, excuse me, I think I got a bit of a chill because Ghana is hot, but the air conditioning was too cold. I think I picked up a bit of a chill. So so we had to go down to the reception area and ask for a room change for me. So we had to wait a little while. So I'm in this room now for tonight, and then tomorrow I will be moved into another room because the smell of the damp was so pungent, it was awful, honestly. But the way how they managed my concern and my request for a room change, it was all done very professionally, and they were really, really good, really good. So, you know, it's my first time in Ghana, first time at this hotel, but the way how they managed our concern, it was so good, and I would still give them a very, very good review. It was so good. So I'm in this room. The room is beautiful. The time in London is 3 minutes past 1, and in Accra it's 3 minutes past midnight. So I've been awake like forever, it seems, but I just had to come on and do this quick video. So I'm so excited to be here. The hotel provided transfer, because I emailed ahead, and they provide a transfer service which they came to get us from the airport, and that was excellent. And the people that they came representing the hotel, it was really, really good. So I'm really, really impressed with the hotel. The staff were really, really good. So I'm going to be going to bed because I'm so tired and I'm slightly nasally, so I'm gonna have to blow my nose quickly. But apart from this hiccup with the hotel and the room that I was given initially, everything has gone really, really smoothly. So tomorrow we have a tour of the city of Accra. We're going to go to a museum. We're going to go to the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial. So obviously I'm going to take you along with that. So that was just a quick overview of what happened on day one. So it was long, trust me, it was long. Moving suitcases around, it was long. But they have also given us access to the executive lounge upstairs for the inconvenience. So we're going to have breakfast upstairs in this executive lounge with this fantastic view. So I will be showing you the view of that tomorrow. But so far, so good, apart from the issue with the hotel room. Okay, so we will catch up tomorrow. Just had my shower and I've got my bonnet on. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Ta-da!
up to like 4 or 5 hours. And then first we're starting with here, which is the Du Bois Center. Du Bois is a civil rights activist and a Pan-African who also fought for black freedom together with the likes of Marcus Garvey, what's the name? Our own first president, Kwame Nkrumah.
Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah, Patrice Lumumba, etc. Marcus Garvey, sure. And then the second stop would be the National Museum that talks more about the Ghanaian history and our cultural practices and heritage.
Lovely.
And then also the third would be the Kwame Nkrumah Museum that also talks about the life and legacy of, I call him the hero and the father of Ghana. And then also the fourth place would be the Makolo Market that happens to be the largest market we have in Greater Accra. And then we see the Art Center. The Art Center is also an exhibition site where young crafty men exhibit their talent in woodwork. Yes, and then the final place would be the Independence Square that was built by Kwame Nkrumah himself to actually inspire other African countries who were also fighting to liberate themselves from colonial rule. Yes, so this should take us approximately between 4 and 5 hours.
Lovely.
Yes,
that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you. That's the guy.
That's the
Kwame Nkrumah.
Crazy.
This is so beautiful. We're at the National Museum and Park dedicated to Kwame Nkrumah. This is so good, so good. It's beautiful, really beautiful.
Okay, so we're going to be starting from here.
Yeah. Okay.
He's going to be with us.
Okay.
For the next 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so I'm Gabriel, I'm your guide. I want us to have a brief history before we start with the tour. So you are welcome to Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park.
Yeah.
So the park you see here, the park used to be the British polo ground. It was for their polo games, where we Ghanaians as blacks were not allowed in here. So due to that, our redeemer, our savior, the man who fought for our independence and colonialism, and that was British rule, a sergeant for the Kwame Nkrumah, decided to declare the independence of Ghana on this same park in the year 1957, 5th of March, when independence was granted to him. So Ghana was the first black African country in the Sub-Sahara to get its independence. The name Ghana was Gold Coast. Nkrumah changed the name Gold Coast to Ghana the night he declared the independence of Ghana. Ghana means warrior king, and from the ancient Ghana Empire, specifically from the Soninke tribe. So this one we are talking about, Asajefo, was born as a Ghanaian in the year 1909 in a village called Nkrofo. He was the only child to the mother, Elizabeth Yaneba. The father was Kwame Nkrumah. To the father's side, the father had other children, but to the mom's side, it was just him.
Seed I'm hearing.
No, we are going inside.
Oh, you're going inside?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that tree there was planted by Nelson Mandela in November 1991 in honor of Kwame Nkrumah. There's the statue at the back. I think every black person needs to visit this place. This is the mausoleum dedicated to Kwame Nkrumah.
And I quote, that the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with total liberation of the African continent. This was Nkrumah's main vision. So he said for Ghana alone to get its independence is of no use unless the total unity, the total liberation of all Africans. So after he gained independence for Ghana, he was fighting to unite all Africans, but he wasn't able or wasn't allowed to achieve that. The first name of Asajefo is a title, which means a redeemer or a savior, because he saved us from colonialism and our British rule. So if he was Pan-Africanist, he developed this idea from Mahmoud Garvey. He was Jamaican political activist, and also Du Bois, which I said they met in Manchester in the year 1945. So with regards to Nkrumah's marriage, he got married to an Egyptian lady called Fatia Helen-Rest. Nkrumah and Fatia's marriage was a contract one, an arranged marriage. This arrangement was done by Abdul Gamal Nassar. He was the president. So the paintings we see, the paintings on the wall,
Yeah.
they are both Egyptians and Ghanaians paintings, showing the unity between Egypt and Ghana, and also to honor the wife Fatia. So that's the museum, the main museum. So we are entering. Okay. In the pictures and videos.
I've just come out of the museum that has been dedicated to Kwame Nkrumah, and boy am I inspired. This president, this man did so much for Ghana. I've never seen a complete history like that. It's absolutely breathtaking. I'm so inspired, honestly. So good. Wow. This is, I'm so inspired, I can't lie. This is good.
Okay, so where we are now is the last place. We call here the Freedom Wall, where we can see and come up with his emotions. I think you can stand up. So this emotions over here is telling us that Nkrumah, he was once a human like us. He went through all these emotions in his lifetime. It can also be explained that the first two where he is laughing is when he gained independence of Ghana. We are very happy for that. The middle two.
Right now, I am so overwhelmed. I can't even talk, honestly, because this place is absolutely brilliant. The way how the history is packaged, the way how the tour was presented, the way how everything just floats. There were two places that we went in where we weren't allowed to take pictures, and I understand why, because the pictures are very intimate and they're very detailed and they're very personal. And it wouldn't surprise me if that was a request from the family for people not to photograph. Very beautiful, intimate pictures. This place, this Kwame Nkrumah Museum, is first class. I am so inspired. Honestly, I really am. Very inspired. This mausoleum. And I'm going to be going back and maybe doing a bit of research on Kwame Nkrumah and Patrice Lumumba and WEB Du Bois. So I'm going to do a little bit of research on them, but this was absolutely fantastic. I think as a black person, I'm really inspired. And the way how the history was presented, what's the word that I'm looking for? The way it was packaged, first class presentation, so good, so good. Oh, that's all right. Oh, it's the presidential library. Okay. No, it's the presidential library. Like all the American presidents, they have the presidential library when they leave office.
So maybe I'm just going to drive through if we're not getting anything, and then we come out and go to the independence one.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Matter.
This is Independence Square, where all Ghanaian presidents are inaugurated in a swearing-in ceremony that takes place here. And as you can see, the seats are green, yellow, red and black. And then black, red, yellow, green to represent the colours in the Ghanaian flag. And just beyond the Black Star Square statue is the sea. So the sea is not too far. You've got some. And then you've got, this is the famous monument that I see on a lot of people who come to Ghana on vlogs. Everybody goes there. So yeah, and all this is dedicated to Kwame Nkrumah. So it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. What a day, what a day. It's so awe-inspiring to come here. Beautiful. We've got an early start this morning, tomorrow morning, because I got a text. We're supposed to leave at 6:30. I got a text to say now we've got to leave at 5:30 to go to Elmina Castle and Cape Coast and all of that to see the slave castles. So we're going to have to leave with no breakfast and go straight to this place because they're doing some roadwork construction. So we have to leave a lot earlier. God help me. So I might have to, we'll have to eat when we get there, I think. So yeah, no breakfast. No breakfast. So let's see how that's going to work. I've got an apple, so I'll take that as a bit of fruit. This is beautiful. So nice, you can see it. See the sea beyond the statue, beyond the monument. Yeah. so beautiful. That's it. Finito. Yeah, finished. That was lovely.
Yeah.
So good. Very good. Good morning. It is, what is it? Today is Thursday morning. I think it's the 31st of August. No, July. I'm a bit sleepy still. It's 5:20 a.m. in the morning in Ghana, obviously. And we are getting ready to meet the driver who's going to be taking us to Elmina Castle and another castle on the coast. So Elmina Castle is the slave castle that all the people who were captured, they were enslaved there and then taken off to the Caribbean. My family is from Jamaica, and they did a lot of studies, and it showed in some of those studies that the majority of Jamaicans came from Ghana. So my ancestors would have gone through that castle. So today we're going there. Some of the people we spoke to in the hotel said that they've been there and they found it quite emotional. So it's going to be an interesting visit, and obviously I'm going to take you along with me. I've got a few hours sleep. We were supposed to leave at 6:30, but I got a text yesterday to say that because of some road construction, we have to leave at 5:30 to avoid traffic and congestion and whatever. So I've got some fruit on me and a bottle of water, and that's going to be my breakfast until we can stop off and get some real food. So the apple will keep me for now. I'll eat that in the car. Yesterday was interesting. We visited the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Museum. We went to WEB Du Bois's home. I'd never realized that he lived in Ghana and died here. You would have seen those videos that I've showed there. Yesterday was very, very empowering for me. We got back, we went to some of the markets and everything, but we didn't want to stop off there, obviously, because yesterday was a long day and everybody was crowding around the car, and we didn't really want to get out and go around and look because the day was quite long. So my family member and I, we came back. We got something to eat in the hotel. We chatted for a while, and then we came back up and got ready for bed because of the early time we would have to get up today. So family members gone to their hotel room. So we're going to meet up in a bit. But Ghana's really interesting, and as I said, I think, as I've already said, I think it's really important that black people, people from African descent, come to Ghana, because as I said in the vlog already, the way how they own their story and the way they tell their story is very empowering. Very empowering for me, and it's been awesome so far. So I just wanted to give a quick update before I go downstairs to meet the driver. I've had my shower, I did a quick devotional, prayed, and I'm now ready to go downstairs. If you've been to Ghana before, if you've been to Elmina Castle, if you've been to some of these museum visits, let me know in the comments section how you found them. I have not done a room tour because of all the confusion with the room, and then we spent the whole day out yesterday. But tomorrow, Friday, we're not doing anything. I'm going to go and get a pedicure because the wedding is on Saturday, so I'm going to do the pedicure tomorrow. But it's going to be very leisurely, and then I'll do like a tour of the hotel, the facilities, the room, We're gonna just chill and have breakfast. We can relax. I might go and do a bit of swimming, sauna, whatever. But anyway, you'll see it in the video. But yes, being here is important. And it was very important that I came, and I'm glad that I came, because it was a country that I had on my bucket list for quite a while. So let me now go and meet my family member in the foyer. I keep saying family member because the person doesn't like social media. They're not into being put out in the public. So in order to protect their privacy and their and who they are, I use the word family member. Okay, so see you soon. So after about a 3.5 hour drive, we are now here at the first castle, which is Cape Castle, and the next one is Elmina Castle. So Cape Castle was also a site where they took Africans and enslaved them. So we're going to have a tour now of it. Let me just see, I'll show you the front bit of it. It's here. I think they're doing some renovations of it. You can see it here. Here is a plaque. This plaque was unveiled by Michelle Obama in 2009. You've got the male slave dungeon, and then you've got a plaque here in memory of the anguish of the ancestors who were here before. So I'm just going to go up the front now. Okay. And we're going to start the tour. I think that's the gentleman who's our tour guide. Hiya. I'm going to go in there now. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going in here now. Let's have a look. Let me just show you that. This is some recent evacuation. I'm not saying too much because okay, it's all right. I'm just going to be here. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So I've just gone in there. I've just done a quick overview because the exhibition there just gives the overview of how the castle was built, who built it, the excavation that's taken place and stuff like that. So that's here, there, and then here you've still got some of the remnants. So you've got the cannonballs here. There's a cannon there that's still there, and there was a plaque there. Yeah. There's a monument there. You've got more cannonballs, and that's the rest of the castle there. The tour is going to start in a minute. They're just waiting for the people to come through from looking at the history of the castle, and then the tour is actually going to start. I think they're going to have an event here, so that's why they're setting up a stage and whatever. Yeah, so this is going to be interesting. And as you can see, there's the sea. So it's kind of humbling to it's kind of humbling actually to think that one of my forefathers or some of my foreparents came through this castle. It's quite it's real food for thought actually, that they would have come through here and been enslaved here. Let me just show you this view. So one or more of my ancestors, foreparents, would have come through potentially this castle and would have had a view that I'm looking at now. So that's a very sobering thought actually. Yeah, very sobering. So it's gonna start soon, so I'm gonna go back down and then let's see. We're just waiting for the others to come through, and then the tour is gonna start. Very, 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 very sobering. Very sobering. And as I said yesterday, I think it's really important for people of African descent to come to Ghana and see this stuff. The sea is very rough here, so I'm trying to imagine the ships would have been out there on the sea waiting, and they would have come down here. So there are the cannons that would have been used back then. So yeah, very sobering.
The chambers where some were partially blind. The moment they encountered the sun rays, Because here minimum a day, maximum 3 to 4 months, you will stay here in total darkness. Few seconds, I will turn off the light for you to see how the chambers were when the slaves were here. So it's around 9:34 a.m. But then you can still see how dark the room is. So imagine around 7 to 8 p.m. It wasn't that easy here. Influx of mosquitoes everywhere. There are only sorts of separate the weaker ones from the stronger ones. The weaker slaves were kept in this small chamber here to test their fate. In the castle here, they have doctors and nurses to examine each slave before the waving auction. So if in case you are here and you can recover early to join the stronger ones, you move with them. But if in case you don't and the ship leave, then you have to wait for the ship to depart from here to the Americas or the Caribbean back to Europe, Europe to Africa here. That's why I said here, minimum a day, maximum 3 to 4 months, you will stay here in total darkness. It wasn't all the slaves who were here for a long period of time. There were some, the moment they were brought in, the ship was ready. So there was no need for them to stay here. But if you're unfortunate, in the time that you were brought here, there was no ship, then you have to wait for the cycle to go again. The wall that you are seeing here wasn't part of the construction at the initial stage. It's just a blockage. The actual wall happens to be this one or the second one here. There was an underground tunnel. So they will force the stronger ones to pass through, which connects them with the females to the door of no return. Today we cannot go through this tunnel because in the year 1834, Captain George McLean, who was the administrator in the castle here, he was commanded by the British Queen to block both the entrance and the exit of the tunnel to symbolize British end of slavery. That's why today we cannot go through this tunnel. Mind you, slavery was abolished only in British colonies in 1834. It was still going on in different places because the last ship to leave Africa was 1860 from Senegal to Alabama. So although it was abolished in 1834, about 26 years later on, before everything was finally over. 3 doors to shut on them, you will suffocate till you die here. The saddest aspect in here is, until the last person dies here, nobody move out. You will come here as a living being, dead body outside. And the soldier goes inside and see even one person not dead, he will come back and stand here. Until the last person dies here, before they will bring all the dead bodies to the courtyard. Then they will bring those from the dungeons to come and see, to serve as a deterrent or an example to them. So if in case anybody wants to fight them in the castle, seeing what has happened to their friends, they will stop. So it was something like a psychological way of controlling the slaves. When you come to Cape Coast Castle, any door or window that you see today have been restored. The only original door left in the castle happens to be this one. It is made up of pitch pine wood coated with metal, about 240 years old. We all go inside here to see whatever is there, then we come back from it. Please, when you are coming, you watch your head.
So this is the original door. Okay. Right. Wow. You can still smell. You smell something, right?
Yeah.
You can still smell it. Kidding. This is not this stuff. You can still smell. No way. Oh my God. Is this what it was like back then? Pitch dark.
3 doors to shut on them. Today it is left with only 1 door. But you can still see how dark the room is.
Yeah.
So imagine if all 3 doors were here today. You cannot stay here for 2-3 days. Before they were brought here, they were first beaten up at the courtyard. So they were weak before they were brought here. No food, water, air, nothing. And they were in chains and shackles. So if, let's say, I'm chained with a brother here, and happens to be the first one to die, because we are chained together, he has to bear the stench, the smell, infection till he dies as well. And the soldier comes inside and see I'm the only person found dead, he'll go back. Until the two of us are dead before the bodies will be taken out for others to come and see. What we can say here today is that may God give us the strength to resist against any oppressor's rule.
Wow.
And that may their soul continue to rest in perfect peace. I don't want anybody to die here, so please we go back.
Okay. Can I just ask, when everybody dies and they take the bodies out there, do they wash it down and then bring another lot in, or they just bring another load of people to sit in the mess that's here?
Yes.
Is that what they? So they didn't clean it?
No.
Because you can still smell something.
Exactly.
Lord.
You wash your head when you are coming.
Crikey, Nora. Jesus. Yay. Hey. My God, this is... That's so cruel. What? Hey, you can still smell it. So you had all of that thing in there. They just chopped fresh people in there with that. Yay. Hi.
Right, so we go upstairs. Please, we come.
Hey. I'm sorry, madam. Sorry. Yeah.
For those staying captives, but then they refused or they agitated because they said no. Why is it that they kept their ancestors in the dungeon and now here as a prison for them? It's almost the same thing. So they have to move the prison from here to a place called Ankafo. Ghana First Prison started right from here as well. Let's see the markings of this side. Please, you come. The governor's residence. Pass through. By the time they realized they in the ship already. Because we couldn't go through that, that's why I'm showing portion of it here. So nobody goes inside or outside from here. It is not a cell or a dungeon. Portion of the time that we couldn't go through at the time. Here was something like a checkpost. So a soldier will be here with a gun, just to be telling them to be moving faster. And a soldier here just to do a head count, to check if the number coming from the 5th chamber, the same number we have here. So if you want to have a look, one leg inside like this, then you come back gently. There's no stairs here.
That was where they used to do a head count. They used to go through there and I think come out in the head, yeah.
Cannot experience it today. So the men will start from the dungeon, females will come and join them, this place to the ship. Punishment served for the females. Come. We all went to the condemned cell for the men. Punishment served for the females who resist against rape. So if in case you are selected in the dungeon that they want to sexually abuse you and you don't accept it, you will be here for about a week just for you to have a change of mind. If in case you are found pregnant before the ship arrives, they will just build you, they build them stone houses outside the castle. They will treat you as if you are no more a slave. Wait for you to deliver. You breastfeed your baby for about 3 months. And then afterwards, with the mother, you are being brought back to the dungeon. The children were being educated at the school. But if you're unfortunate and you are found pregnant, whilst you're on the ship moving, they will just push you inside the sea for you to die.
Oh.
Because they don't want any pregnant woman to be working on their plantation. The conditions on the ship moving was difficult than those in the castles here or the dungeons here. On the ship moving, they were part head, tail, head, tail. Let me show you a picture. something like this on the ship. I'll come there, so don't worry.
Yeah. I've seen that. Head to foot, yeah. I've seen that somewhere.
Sometimes they do offload some of the slaves to the sea just to balance the ship movement. Let's see the female slave dance.
So when they breastfeed the babies for 3 months, they will send the women back to the thing. So where would the baby be?
They will be the domestic slaves here.
Right, okay.
Go this side.
You can still smell. The smell is still there, no? You're kidding. You can still smell it.
Oh, yes. Still smell it. Female slave dungeon, 2 rooms. The one here and the one right opposite us there. 100 to 150. So the two will give us about 200 to 300 women. The holes 1, 2, 3 as their source of light and ventilation. You can see there is a window there. It was having iron bars. So they will stand there, look through to select those that they wanted to rape or abuse. Because the rooms were smelling, they cannot come inside and be going around to select. So they will stand outside, select. The soldiers will come and take them outside. The conditions here were not different from the conditions at the male dungeon. Though the females, they have a bigger room here than the men. But then the conditions here, to me, I would say sometimes it was difficult or even higher than the men. Because we all know the female menstrual cycle. So if in case you are to stay here for about 3-4 months, meaning you menstruate 3-4 months without bathing. So the stench, smell, infection, everything here. And I told you they had their last bath at Asemansu. So the moment you get to the castle here, forget about bathing. For the men, no. But for the females, the only time a female will get a chance to bath here is when she is a candidate for rape. If they select you and you accept it, they will wash you down using the water reservoir to the governor's bedroom. If you don't accept it, to the punishment cell just for you to have a change of mind. You could be here with your little boy or little daughter because the way they were being captured, it was through kidnapping already. Sometimes they set fire on their farmlands in their houses. As they're running away, they capture them. Others too, they promise them, let's go to our home countries. We will give you better job there. They agree to follow them, then they end up here. So sometimes it could be the whole family. And let's say, if 10 years boy is being captured with the mother, they won't say he is a boy, so they will take him to the maid dungeon. He will be here with the mother or sister or whoever he was being captured with. Until the ship comes in, they are all here. And once the ship is in, all of them will be shipped out as well. Here too, they were fed once or twice a day, and it wasn't a balanced diet as well. Let's see the door of no return.
You can still smell the stench.
Alright, so for our ancestors using this door, and for them not being able to return back, everything started at the door of no return. When Marcus Garvey said, peoples without their knowledge of culture, race, or tribe, they are like a tree without a root. The root Marcus Garvey was talking about was taken away from us at the door of no return. And you can ask me, what is this root Marcus Garvey is talking about? It is our names. With African naming system, you are given life assignment. Your name should correspond with your family, your friends, identity, everything. So even if I don't know you, the moment you mention your name to me, I should be able to tell where you are coming from. This isn't the original door. The original door was very short and narrow. And it was designed for only one person to pass through at a given time, so that they can arrange them on the boat to the bigger ship. It became a bigger door like this because some years back, Cape Coast was the first capital town of Ghana before it was moved to Accra. And this castle was the seat of government during the colonial time. So they had to change that short door to a bigger one like this. Door of no return because the moment You use this route to the ship, either to the Americas or the Caribbean. There's no turning back for you. Door of no return, because the moment you pass here to the ship, you will lose your connection, your identity, your friends, your family. So if you are called Kojo, Ama, or any local name, and you get there, you'll be given your slave master's name. So that identity you have as an African, you will lose it when you get there. To the southern part, they were taken to places like Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, Paraguay, Peru, and so on. Brazil had the highest concentration because it was a Portuguese colony. Yeah. Most of the slaves from Elmina Castle were taken to Brazil by the Portuguese. So currently, when you add Ghana, Togo, Benin, these three countries combined, you cannot match the blacks in Brazil now. Population-wise, the blacks in Brazil now are more than Ghana, Togo, Benin. And it's also because of the slave trade. To the northern side, they were taken to places like New York, North and South Carolina, Jamestown, Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Florida, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and so on. And to the Caribbean, Jamaica, Guyana, Barbados, Bahamas, Dominican Republic, Antigua, St. Vincent, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, and so on. Today, we are not slaves anymore. And as we all use the door of no return like our ancestors did. But for us, we shall return. Please come.
Wow.
So the sword door the slaves were using for the British, they were using the stairs up. We call it the golden stairs. The sea was just down here. Before the sea defense was constructed about 4 years ago. So meaning the smaller boat will come and pick them from here to the bigger ship. Because the bigger ships were able to come to the shores here. And when the Europeans were here, all this place was called the Europeans' beach. It was only meant for them to do whatever they want to do here. No black man or woman was allowed to come here. When we look here, different name door of return. The reason why we have door of return
unfortunately, she died.
Wow.
But her remains was brought back to her hometown, that is Ejoso in the Ashanti region.
Okay.
Yes.
Please, can I ask you, was that skeleton and cross, was it there originally?
It was there originally. We did some painting so to actually design it in.
This is Elmina Castle.
But it was made by Portuguese. Okay. And it was a condemned. That means the symbol was to say condemned.
Condemned.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Not coming out of it.
Elmina Castle. Oh, they've painted it. Are these the original floorings?
No.
Oh, no.
The rocks. It's the original, but you see, when you compare, these are the rocks and the cement.
Okay. So the rocks is the original. Okay.
Some of them were using the videos to satisfy themselves. So you might have now to understand that people are all that is so just to bring all the females out. Then you carefully lift and select one that you want. So that will give her some of them the parts, give her some food research.
Oh.
When we just walked in, was the courtyard.
Okay.
For African enslaved women. These are the courtyard.
For the women?
For the women.
Okay.
And we are standing in one of the dungeons. But I would like us to go to the largest dungeon and I tell you what happened in here.
Sure.
Please come.
Okay.
largest dungeon in this courtyard. And this dungeon took about 150 of African enslaved women.
Wow.
Those women were kept here for about 3 to 4 months before being transported to the New World.
Okay.
When they were here, they had to do everything in here. Before that, they were already given some containers to do those things in it. But during the second month, some of the women became so weak to the extent that they couldn't get to those containers. So did everything on the floor.
Oh,
that's includes their menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
This same floor was where they were eating and sleeping.
So menstrual cycle, excrement, urine, vomit,
everything,
everything. And they had to sleep here.
Thinking and eating. Everything was made on the floor.
Is this the original floor?
Yes, these are the rocks, original for 543 years. And this was what they lied, died, and suffered on. Can you see the hole over there?
Yeah.
It leads to a place called the magazine. The magazine was where the European soldiers kept their gunpowders and other chemicals that they were using. So when there was any leakage, that toxic smell comes down here and causes air pollution. So already the floor was contaminated and the air being polluted, and so most of the African enslaved women kept here lost their lives because they were inhaling.
And that's yeah.
Yes, please. I don't know, can you still hear?
Yeah, you can still smell it.
Exactly. It has been in here for over 400 years.
So and they never washed it out and everything. They just keep putting them in here.
Yes, please. The more they have, more Africans to be placed in here.
And they kept the mess the same.
The same thing.
Jeez.
The moment they die, they tie those who are dead to the seas in order to get more Africans again into the dungeons. And they were never bothered of the Africans dying, no. But they were after their money. So the moment they die, they don't care. So they were after their money. Now these rapes were brought by some people to pay their last respect to ancestors. But there is one particular from a Portuguese lady. She says she's sorry for what European forefathers did to African women. And she's asking for peace and unity.
Yeah.
I do ask African talks that I do. Are you going to listen to the apologies? Or are you going to listen to your African spirits? Please.
Wow. Wow.
Was the meeting point for African enslaved men and women before entering into the room of no return. The African women came from this side. The men came from where we just came.
So the steps were there?
Yes, please.
Oh, right,
This is the original floor?
The rocks is the original floor.
Of course, he said.
They met but never communicated because of language.
Right.
It wasn't only Ghanaians that were captured as enslaved Africans. Other West African countries, there are people also brought here to be transported. So language was a barrier.
Right.
You see a fellow African, but you can't communicate to the person because you don't understand the language. Secondly, there were soldiers in here. Whoever tries to speak out, they are going to use their sticks to hit you out. Initially, the entrance of this place was a big one. But when they started the slave trade, that was when it was narrowed for African enslaved men and women, one at a time, to go in there for Europeans to count them before being transported. So please, we all are going in there, but try to blend very well. Take 5 steps before you raise your head up and then they come.
Okay.
Come. Of no return. The sea was very, very close to the castle. So when the ships arrived, the ships were about 1 kilometer away from the castle. So those ships sent smaller boats to come closer to the castle. There were steps here that those Africans descend down. African women were first to go before the African men. They all got to the boat took them to the ships, and then the ships took them to the New World. And so when we talk about the New World, we're talking about America, Caribbean islands, and Europe. Those various countries was where Africans were separated and were transported to. For them to go there and then work on their plantations and also to build houses for them. The saddest truth is, what happened on the ships is worse than what happened in the castle.
In the castle.
On ships, that was when Africans were packed like sardines on top of each other as they were in chains, hands and legs.
Yeah.
beautiful.